We're live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the July 9th, 2026 regular council meeting. Tonight will be led in prayer by Councilwoman Montgomery, and if you'll please remain standing for a pledge of allegiance.
Let's bow our heads. Father God, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, and we're alive and well. And we thank you, Lord God, for the opportunity that we have to move forward in everything according to your will. May you bless this meeting. May everything that is spoken be clear and understandable. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Perry,
Here.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Here.
Ms. Montgomery,
Here.
Mr. Prophet,
Here.
Mr. Nichols,
Here.
Ms. Butts,
Here.
Mr. Rourke.
Here. All right, we'll start off with number one, for an approval of minutes of the June 11th, 2026 special council meeting. Does anyone have any problem with the minutes as presented to us? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Prophet and Councilwoman Butts, roll call, please.
Mr. Prophet,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. Number two are the minutes of the June 14th, 2026 special council meeting. Does everyone accept the meetings as presented to us? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second. Councilwoman Butts and Councilman Nichols, roll call, please.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Abstain.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. And then 3 and 4 are the minutes of the June 18th, 2026 council work session and the minutes of the June 18th, 2026 regular council meeting. Are there any amendments to the minutes as presented to us? I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher,
Yay.
Ms. Butts,
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yay.
Mr. Prophet,
Abstain.
Mr. Nichols,
Yay.
Mr. Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Perry.
Yay. And then we have nothing on the consent agenda or correspondence, so we'll move on to audience of public. I think everyone here knows the rules by now, so I don't think I have to read them verbatim every time. Pretty much they go to don't call out people as individuals and be respectful of everyone. The other thing I wanted to add before we started is that we are going to be tabling items 1 and 2 under unfinished business. So if you would like to speak on those, they will be voted on at a later meeting. All right, and we'll start off with Amy.
Hello, Amy Humbert, Trenton. I just wanted to thank to whoever organized the fireworks. It was there for other reasons, but the parade was great, and then the afterward was great. So I really liked seeing everybody out and about. So I don't know who organized it, but I want to give a huge shout out to whoever did. The last meeting, there was one thing mentioned, and it just seems like that about the data center. If we don't bring the data center in, then we're not going to have a lot of money for the city. And it makes me concerned that we're putting so many eggs in our basket on this one data center to bring money into the city that we're not continuing to look at other options. I hope we still are. It's just not mentioned, and the data center is top on everybody. So I'm hoping we still are looking at other options because I don't think data centers are the only answer for cities. And the other thing was that if we don't have the data centers, then we lose money on fire, police, and schools. And it just seems like those are always the three that kind of are drawn out first. Fires, so that's the safety of our city. Why is it not that maybe we need to rebudget some things looking back at the meeting minutes back, I think it was in 2025, I saw an approval for an additional $8 million for the Trenton Service Center, the new Trenton Government Building. And I'm thinking, well, $8 million would have gone a long way for a firehouse. So why couldn't we have rebudgeted a little bit of money for a firehouse at that time instead of adding to a government building? And I know it's easier to add money when you're building as opposed to afterward. So I understand that point. But maybe postpone it a little bit longer and build it a little later, maybe, or do something a little differently to put the money toward what the city needs. If we need more fire, if we need more police, if we need more money for the schools. So that's kind of where I was a little kind of torn with the decision. Well, we would always pull money from those safety resources as opposed to trying to rebudget the money. So just wanted to address that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to reply to that. Actually, we have put more money into the police and the fire out of the general fund in the last few years.
I also want to say this just to clarify a little bit. I understand where you're coming from, and yes, it does seem like we could have done that a little differently, but if I'm right, Matthew, that neighborhood is paying for the city building, correct?
Yes, the Trenton Story Development is in an NCA, which will ultimately pay for the bonds that we've already issued for the city building. One of the reasons for the expansion of that is to also include the police station in that new facility. One of the original plans was for the police to be over here and then for the city to be over there. It worked out a little bit better operationally to add the police station at the new site. So it was spent. The increase was spent on the police.
And I do want to say, to clarify a little bit to that, when we talk about the schools, we can't make up the money to the schools of what the schools would lose. As far as fire goes, that's the plan to open up a second fire station on the other side of the tracks. So that would require us to pass a fire levy, a substantial one. I think the last one in time we looked at it was, Matthew, was it 8?
What was that?
When we looked at taking our fire full time, what was the millage rate we were looking at?
Yeah, for a true full-time, 3 full-time, 2 part-timers around the clock, it was 6.5 mils at those values back then. So 6.5 mils, 1 mil is about $70 per 100,000 of property value. Median home value is probably going to be around 300,000. So you would be looking at a $700 property tax bill.
So, and that would be in addition to the fact that Butler County announced that everyone's property is going to go up 22%. So I read that in the Journal from Nancy Nix that properties will go up 22%. That won't all translate down into the property tax because of what the state has, but there will be a substantial property tax hike coming up.
And the Trenton Police and Fire funds do not receive any of those increases. Primarily, if you see a tax increase as a result of value increases, it is between the county and schools.
Right.
I would also like to say that I'm speaking for myself, but I'm going to say we are always looking for ways to help the city financially. It's not just looking at data centers. We're always looking at other things as well. And about the fireworks and the celebration over there, Kelsey Moore has so much to do with that, and it's through the Parks Board. She has done an absolutely amazing job since she came on with the city. So she makes it so easy to be on the Parks Board because she brings us all the information and we just tweak it and ask additional questions and things like that. So it's Kelsey Moore. Did we answer your question?
One last thing. You walked the whole parade, didn't you? Were you the one walking the whole parade? Hats off to you. It was hot, and you had that big poster on and everything else, and I remember running over to you to make sure you had water because that was a very hot day. Yeah. I hope you got dinner at the end of that. All right. Next, we'll do Mr. Blankenship.
That's appreciative. Barry Blankenship, 811 South 1st Street. Glad to be here. Thank y'all for the opportunity to let me speak. Thank y'all for being here. First time I've seen both of you here in this meeting, so thank y'all for being here. I want to start out by saying July 2nd, for once, I felt like this community was a community. So for everybody that was involved with the parade and the festival in the park, good job. Thank you, because it did feel like there was a community. So I don't know who all that goes to. If it's y'all, thank you. If it's the others, thank you. But then it came back to reality. Reality said after I got home, and reality always does, it was back to what everyday life is: work, this, that, had to go to bed early, hard to sleep, boom, boom, boom. But that's another story. The thing I want to speak about tonight is numbers. I heard there was a little bit of laughter or what have you about some numbers of petition numbers, and it's just a small representation of Trenton. Well, here's a number that's not small representation of Trenton. The state ballot initiative has close to half of what has been taken in Butler County from Trenton, which is more than half of what is registered voters in Trenton. So that's not a small representation of numbers. That's a pretty big representation of the voters that elected each and every one of y'all that you're supposed to be listening to. That's a big number. That means more than half of the registered voters in this city says they don't want one. I'm asking y'all, as our representatives that's listening to us, please listen to us. We don't want more. We're getting one, we know. One's enough until we realize that it's going to be safe for our community, that it's going to bring all the prosperous to our community that we say it's going to bring. If it's proven safe, great, then we have a great community. But I don't want it to turn out to be an I told you so. Because every other community I've been to, I've studied Virginia, I've studied Arkansas, I've studied Georgia, we've been studying Texas, Tennessee, all of them come out the same, and it's not good endings. I've been through New Albany. I don't want this place to become a New Albany. The roads are terrible. I nearly tore out the underneath of a Ford Flex driving through New Albany where the data centers are. That's not what I want here. So please listen to your constituents. They voted you in, and the majority of them say, I don't want this. Listen to us, please. That's all I ask.
Thank you. John Glenn.
My name's John Glenn from 3191 Wayne Madison Road. I had a nice speech prepared that I was going to read. You probably wouldn't have liked it. One thing I want to address is there is a very high member of this council that, sitting in the middle chair, blatantly lied to my face at the last meeting. There's two things in this world I cannot stand. That's a liar and a damn thief. And you lied straight to my face.
With what?
About the annexation. And
What?
don't say you didn't, because I got the emails where you sent, where you guys are in talks.
Yeah, number one, you're not supposed to be doing this.
I apologize. I'll move on. With that being said, did you guys ask for help with the fire department on the other side of the tracks? I'm a 13-year vet. Tennessee, volunteer firefighter. I could have helped you put a fire station in over there in less than 6 months and had it up and running calls saving lives in less than 6 months. We started out in a tobacco barn with one dairy purity milk truck we retrofitted to be a tanker, and one piece of junk fire engine that we just so happened to get that was wrecked out of Nashville, Tennessee. And it was all volunteer. We paid for everything out of our pockets. Between it and federal government grants, that's how we run a whole county fire department. There was no city fire departments where I'm from. We averaged 15 to 20 calls in a matter of 3 days. And every one of them calls, I can show you reports where there was at least 15 firefighters on scene and 3 trucks rolled out. Within the first 2 years, we had 4 trucks, a rescue truck, a heavy rescue truck, a water rescue, and everything, just from the sweat off our backs. Did y'all ask for help or ideas on how to do that? I'd have been the first one. I love firefighting more than anybody in this country. Proud smoke eater. If you had asked for help, I'd have helped y'all do it. I'd have got you a milk truck. Showed you how to retrofit it to be a tanker truck. They're slow, but they're efficient. On the next note, I'm going to remind you of a few things. On July 4th, the holiday we just respected, in 1776, it was written in the Declaration of Independence that to secure these rights, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. The governed is us. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these rights, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government. It also states in that same article, when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing inevitably the same object produces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, I can't speak worth a crap. It is the duty to throw off such government and provide new guard for the future and security. That's us. We've been blanking for it for months. We don't want a data center in our town. We want to be heard. We want to be respected, just like you guys want to be heard and respected sitting up there. And before I get too irritated, much more, I'm going to close with this. Ronald Reagan once said, quoted a founding father, Dr. Joseph Warren, when he stated to the fellow Americans, "Our country is in danger, but not to be despaired of. On you depend the futures of America. You are to decide the important questions when which rest the happiness and the liberty of millions yet unborn. Act as if yourselves. Act of yourselves."
Thank you.
So that's all I'm going to say at that point, and I'll save the rest of my comments for another time.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I have a question, sir. How long ago was it that you served on the fire department?
I left Tennessee in 2015.
When did you organize that department?
That department was founded by my father, my mother, and now retired chief back in the 90s.
Okay. Just curious because I spent almost 20 years volunteering here in Trenton. Okay. Things have changed a lot since the 90s.
They have.
I volunteered mostly in the 80s and 90s, some into 2000. It used to be, like you said, you used to be able to get 15 guys, no problem. That's not the case anymore. Yeah, that's why we've had to go to a paid part-time department. People just, they have so much going on in their lives, they're not volunteering like they used to, unfortunately. I mean, if I had my druthers, we'd still have those old departments like you're talking about, but unfortunately, that's just not the way today is.
Not to mention the technology it takes now to efficiently
That amount of
run
training, yeah.
a fire department.
That and just the cost. I mean, when I went to paramedic school, my paramedic school was $800. Now paramedic school is about $10,000.
There's ways to do it without having to have that much. Is what I was getting. There's plenty of ways to do it. I'll quit my job and run every fire call that comes across the radio a mile away from work. I'd much rather eat smoke than I would work.
You better check with
She
her
might
first.
disagree.
I'm just playing.
I'm through and through smoky. I love nothing more than going inside of a structure.
Yeah, good. Thank you for what you have done.
Yeah.
And I will speak this and thank you for what you have done. I honestly don't want our citizens to have a heart attack and have to wait for volunteers to get to the fire station before they can even make a run.
Yep.
So I like the fact that we have 5 people on staff at all times. You're saving probably, let's just say on the conservative side, 5 minutes. That's a life. And that's what it's about. Can money replace a life? And that's what we're talking about. So, all right. Well, that's it. And we'll move on to citizens of Trenton.
Non-citizens?
Citizens first.
Y'all know who I
Barry, 839 Autumn Court. This is Brandy.
Brandy Lenas, 803 Marcia Drive.
We came to address everyone in the crowd and everything else. We're putting together I'll call it a backpack.
Yeah, school supply giveaway.
School supplies for all the kids. And I'm going to challenge everyone, all the council even, backpacks. And like I said, I've got a list going to be put out tomorrow. I have talked to Matthew about putting a box out here in this for you. Also, Sunny at Todd said we can. Her church.
Edgewood Baptist, First Baptist, Presbyterian, and First, who else? Trenton Mennonite.
Yes, Mennonites also. They're all in on this, and there's more people than just me and her ourselves. So, like I said, we're trying to put together for the less fortunate. So, just to make sure every kid has a backpack when they start to school. So, I will have a list, and I'd appreciate all the help, any help that we can get for all the kids. And as you know as well as there's a need out there. I promise you, there's a need.
I run the outreach center, and there is a big need, and we can reach a lot more people if we have all of everybody helping out, rather than just separate churches.
Yeah. So, any help, definitely appreciate it. Just wanted to make that announcement, and appreciate the help.
Thank you.
Thank
Challenge
you.
accepted.
Yeah, I think we can pledge a few backpacks. Is it? I'm sorry. Is it just backpacks, or is it also full school supplies?
Supplies.
Yeah. Can we get a supplies list, please?
You got to load it up.
It'll be here tomorrow.
Awesome.
We'll post it, and give it to Scott, or get somebody to put it out. Also on Twitter Talk, and we'll put it out.
Appreciate that.
It's not about us.
All right. Any other Trenton residents?
How's it going? Chad, Blair Drive. I'm coming to ask about the abatement that I heard about last week. There's like 75% tax abatement on the new data center. Question about that, just I didn't understand why. I know that the biggest attraction to the data center was the money that it provides to the city. I don't understand why we would be giving them a 75% tax break on that. That's the biggest reason why we want it, right? So why would we give them 75% off for a certain number of years? And if it's to attract them to come here to do business, I feel like they want us, they want the land, they want the utilities. Why couldn't we have done 40% or less years? I don't understand it. And I think that the numbers should make sense to the citizens if we're going to do that. So that's just my question to you guys. If you could provide some sort of breakdown on why it makes sense, why we're doing this. Do the numbers make sense? You know, it seems like I know that they're paying some towards the school and some towards other things, but it seems like without that abatement, we'd be getting more from them, and that's why they're wanting it, you know. So just a question. That's it.
Thank you.
So you are correct. Without the abatement, we would be getting more from them. But I'm going to be honest with you, every business that we have in the city of Trenton has an abatement of some kind. If you don't offer an abatement, a business won't come. And I do believe there is the CRA, we were talking about this before, citizens have access to that same CRA without...
That is correct, and it is by right in that case. It does not need to be approved by members.
So this is just a heads up, and something that I wish I would have taken advantage of with improvements to my house. You were entitled to the same CRA with improvements to your home. If you would please describe that, Matthew. It works just, you don't have to pay taxes on improvements to the land, correct? Or is there, I'll let you do it. It's your profession.
Particular improvements to your home. So I always use the example of a sunroom because a lot of people add those, and it's not necessarily a part of the normal structure of the house or the living square footage. But a lot of people will add a sunroom, requires some permits, the county auditor will usually look at any expansions to your house, or if you add a garage, or if you do add an extra normal room. The auditor will look at those, they'll see the permits, they'll know that, oh, hey, your home is improved in some way, we're going to raise the taxable value of this property. If you apply for a CRA as you are doing that renovation, we, or the city council, has then approved that, okay, 100% of the increase in value that you see on your property as a result of that improvement is now abated. So the county understands, all right, you have your home value is $300,000. You're going to do a $20,000 improvement, but they receive the paperwork from the city once you file it and get it approved by the housing officer. That $20,000 shows up, and it shows up as, it'll say an A next to it. That's the abated portion, so you're not actually paying taxes on that improvement. So that's how the CRA works for residential. And there is an application for that on the city website.
And that's 100% abatement, you said?
That is 100%.
Yeah.
I think the statute only allows for 12 years.
I think another thing that's lost on abatements, and I've heard this a lot from a lot of people, that doesn't mean they don't pay taxes. It's the same as what your house is. You'll still pay taxes on your home. You just won't pay taxes on the improvement. So they don't pay taxes on they pay 25% of the tax on the improvements that they make to the ground. The same that you are, only theirs is a 75% instead of the 100% the citizens get.
Correct. And to expound upon the reasoning that cities do give CRAs, that you might have seen in the news rather recently, Monroe has a food distribution facility coming in, and they're giving a similar 75% CRA to that facility. They noted that there were other cities that they were competing for. With regards to the square footage value of a data center and the CRAs that are typically granted to them, which oftentimes is 100%, not 75%, and oftentimes they do not have additional, they usually have additional community compensation agreements as we have written in. But it's because of the taxable value of data centers are just so much higher than traditional manufacturing. So Shape Corp is valued at $60 a square foot. Prologis will be valued at $265 a square foot. Shape Corp has a 50% abatement, so they're only really assessed at $25 a square foot. But but Prologis with the 265, their 25% of the value will still be much higher than what Shape Corp would have been had it not been abated at all. So that's a little bit. But you can my email, phone numbers on the city website if you're interested in discussing that in more detail.
And to add a little bit, that the CRA statute is up to 10 years, 100% exemption up to 10 years for the remodeling of 1 to 2 unit dwellings, up to 12 years for multi-unit residential, and up to 15 years for new construction of residential structures. And there are thresholds associated with that. So for 1 to 2 unit properties, the improvements need to exceed at least $2,500, and for multi-unit residential properties, the improvements need to exceed at least $5,000. Obviously, there's no cost threshold to new construction.
Stas, just to make it a little more clear and make everyone else aware of it, because I wasn't aware of that, can we put it on the Facebook page?
Yeah, we'll get it.
And go ahead and link it and let every citizen know that they have the right to 100% abatement on new construction.
Yeah, and then on the next newsletter.
Yeah, we'll get something posted and drafted up, and I'll coordinate with Matthew about that.
All right, and we will move on to non-Trenton residents.
My name is Gary Embry from Wayne Madison Road, 2920, St. Clair Township. I've discussed before water problems, and I've been given alternatives and answers and stuff like that. But the one thing I've tried to discuss and never been given an answer to was the traffic problem that's so bad. And so if you have more data centers coming to this annexed property, through my archives of keeping everything and never throw anything away, I found this report that when in October 19th of 2000, the Butler County Engineers Office, on behalf of the Trenton Area Access Committee, the Ohio Department of Transportation, and the Federal Highway Administration, did some transportation studies, what needs to be done. Now, in the year 2000, from what I've been told, the population of Trenton was around 7,000 or so, something like that. So if they recognized that there was a traffic problem with 7,000 people, what about the 15,000 we have now, whatever? They went so far as this study was done, is the one that I spoke about before, was done out at in those days it was Cincinnati Gas and Electric, but it's Duke now. And it was talking about the future transportation needs and the use of the land, how they could put this bypass road in. And I think it's common knowledge that the bypass road has been pretty much blocked by Monroe, okay? Where it was blocked at mainly was where they bought the Americana property. That property's still open. There's nothing being done there. Now, I go by it quite often. This study, and I'm just going to hit a few highlights on it because I got a couple copies, and most people don't retain properties from paperwork from 26 years ago. I do. I'm old. Okay? I happen to find this. And it gave a couple alternatives, how that they could fix this problem, this problem that existed back in the year 2000. Well, they did a public meeting in 1998 at Edgewood High School. And part of the representative that was there of the engineer's office, the Trenton Area Access Committee, whatever that may have been, Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration. So all these people invested their time, and they saw this problem 26 years ago. Problems only got worse over the years. Now, there were two options when they put these roads in there. And I'll give you the copies if you don't retain things as old as I do. And one of them is totally shut down because of all the development that you've done. And that's understandable. The other option is the two properties that you're talking about annexing. Well, people say, okay, Monroe's blocked that. What's to say that the option wouldn't still be there because their land isn't blocked yet, but if you put all this development in there, then you're landlocked in this cotton-picking town. And I happen to live there on the corner of Woodsdale, and I happen to live through all this problem. I happen to be scared to death to mow my own grass. I happen to be scared to death to go to my mailbox. And if my bottom line is, if this study was done by these organizations 26 years ago, how's it any better today? Why isn't it going to get worse when you try and annex those lands and put more data centers in? It's going to get worse.
Thank you, and I'll go ahead and answer that.
Can I give these to you, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was hoping you'd be here today just because I was looking into your water problem a little bit. And I know this is a little off subject, but I do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, after we annex that property, we will touch your property as the city of Trenton. If you choose to annex as well, we will provide water to you like you requested the first time you came here. We would be able to provide you with water, same as what we have at the Citizens and at the same rates as what the Citizens have.
At how much?
What is the tap-in fee and the same water rates as what the Citizens pay?
You know, and you gave me alternatives to the water.
Oh, okay, but
you gave me alternatives to the water, and we've had discussions about that, and I can live with that. The traffic, and I even mentioned the last time, I don't know if it was this meeting or not, that We sat for 3.5 hours with our driveway blocked over one wreck. So, and I was over the road yesterday. There's over 100 and some feet of skid marks that the tractor trailer had to bounce down through here to get stopped. It is going to get even worse.
Okay, I can tell you this, and I was at the county having discussions about the traffic and the engineering, and one of the commissioners said right off that that road is going to have to be improved significantly to get those workers there, and AWS will pay for that improvement. So, honestly, they're already aware that road, and when we had our first meetings as the city of Trenton with AWS, they recognized that road as one that they're going to have to improve on their own dime to carry that traffic in there. So that will go through the Butler County Engineer's Office. We'll do a traffic study on it to make sure that that's enough, and then they will okay any road improvements, and just as the commissioner said, that will be at their expense. So the positives of that are the road will be improved because they have to improve it for construction because it can't hold that traffic, you're right. But after construction, we'll still have all the benefits of that road.
And why exactly are we supposed to believe that when 26 years ago they knew about the problem? If there's a problem that anybody here has of something that's 26 years old, you haven't solved it by then? Sorry.
But 26 years ago was when Miller was first looking at building here. And there was actually an agreement signed by the governor saying that 63 bypass would be built. And I personally attended a meeting over at the Monroe Council Chambers with county officials and Monroe officials and other Trenton people, where basically Monroe sat there in that meeting and said, we're going to stop this at all costs. And that's exactly what happened. They put things in the way. They put parks in the way. They put developments in the way. They were the ones that killed that agreement. And
let's not do a back and forth at this time.
It didn't happen, even though there was an agreement signed to fix that problem you're talking about.
Sir, let's not do a back and forth, please.
I'm sorry, sir?
Yeah, let's not do a back and forth, please.
I'm not going back and forth. My whole point was if you do something with your share of it, it doesn't matter what Monroe ever does. Because if your share is totally blocked, and I don't see how you're going to go through Woodsdale without tearing houses down to fix the road any.
Thank you. All right. Any other non-citizens?
Erica Updike, Liberty Township resident. Like others, I had a long list of things to talk about, and I scrapped it on the way here. The willful ignorance of this council is shocking. Your residents, of which I am not, I am a neighbor. I will also be negatively affected by at least one data center, let alone more. So this is not a Trenton problem. This is a Butler County and a Southwest Ohio regional problem, frankly. You as the council, you are choosing to not listen to reasonable science and people that have information. And it is horrifying to watch both here at meetings and online, because sometimes I have other things to do and kids' activities and other things. It is just so disheartening to watch people that were elected to represent their city and to watch a council make choices to disregard what your residents want. And they want a city that is not being polluted by a data center. I can understand your enthusiasm for thinking that the city could become, real estate bigwigs and wheel and deal and buy properties and sell them and do all of these things. And I get that. But at the same time, bragging about how much money the schools and the residents and the fire department and everybody are going to get isn't the brag that you think it is. It is essentially prostituting out the farmland and the city property, and now you want to consume townships next to you for money. So it's not a brag to say, well, the schools are going to get $1 million. For what? To drive your residents away from this town and this township and this county? That's not a benefit. And now you want to annex 600 acres to do it again? It's not a brag. Unfortunately, council is becoming the poster child for not listening to their constituents. And on this 250th anniversary of our country, if you would like to see how people can start a revolution, you're right in the thick of it. And we can see that by how the residents, I'm so proud of the residents of Trenton to stand up and get all of the signatures to put this on the ballot, because what they did was speak out in yet another way against the decisions of this council.
1 minute, please.
Much like Mr. Embry, I also found some very interesting information, and one was the Butler County Stormwater District from 2006, talking about a Trenton area stormwater management project. And a big part of it is the Jackson Ditch, a valuable Butler County resource that runs right through the project that for the land that you're trying to annex. And it's just another piece of science that's going to be disregarded. I'm sure that we're going to see a comment of, well, you people just, all the things, the crazy things you find on Facebook, and that's not correct. I understand you didn't get it from Amazon. But again, finding more science and more data, both locally and nationally, to show how bad data centers are, I just still have a hard time comprehending how you as a council can continue to make such poor decisions.
Thank you.
So I have a couple copies of that.
Please give them to Stas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Again, I just so wish that you all would listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take one more non-Trenton resident. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to, well, we were going to do unfinished business, but at this time, we will do unfinished business, but I'll entertain a motion that we table items 1 and 2 under unfinished business.
So moved. Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Montgomery, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery.
Yay.
Mr. Profit.
Yay.
Mr. Nichols.
Yay.
Ms. Butts.
Yay.
Mr. Rourke.
Yay.
Mayor Barry.
Yay. Please read items 3 and 4, stopping after each for a vote, please. Oh, and we have to vote to read them by title only. Do I have a motion?
You need a motion to amend item 4.
Item 4. Okay. We'll do title only and then we'll do to amend. So I will entertain a motion that we read items 3 and 4 by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilman Nichols. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Yay.
Mr. Nichols.
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery.
Yay.
Mr. Profit.
Yay.
Ms. Butts.
Yay.
Mr. Rourke.
Yay.
Mayor Barry.
Yay. And then I will entertain a motion that we amend item 4 under unfinished business.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilman Rourke. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher.
Yay.
Mr. Rourke.
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery.
Yay.
Mr. Profit.
Yay.
Mr. Nichols.
Yay.
Ms. Butts.
Yay.
Mayor Barry.
Yay. All right. I think we're ready to go.
Item number 3 is an ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances, providing for the adoption of a new matter in the updated and revised codified ordinances, providing for the publication of such new matter, repealing ordinances and resolutions in conflict therewith, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Beresford, will you please explain this?
Yeah, this is just updating our code book and our website with the updated codified language that council passed. This was subsequent legislation from July 17th, 2025 through March 19th, 2026. And once this is approved, I'll send the next batch of ordinances to American Legal.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Montgomery. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Ms. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. Number 4.
Item number 4 is an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a community reinvestment area agreement and a compensation agreement and declaring an emergency.
All right, Mr. Masiskis, anything?
No, as stated earlier, the amendment was to increase the total payroll and headcount and remove any indication of a tip agreement.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions from council? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Nichols and Councilman Rourke. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Rourke?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. All right, we have no public hearing, so we'll move on to new business. Number 1 is a motion authorizing the clerk of council to certify to the Ohio Department of Liquor Control that Trenton City Council does not request a hearing on the application for a liquor permit to Two Brothers LLC, 4 East State Street, Trenton, Ohio. Do we have any questions? All right. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to authorize.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Profit and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Rourke?
Abstain.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. Number 2 is a motion to revise the City Trenton strategic pillars, public safety and operations, strong and secure neighborhoods, connected community, economic vitality, and to include an additional pillar, responsible infrastructure. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to authorize.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Butts and Councilman Profit. Roll call, please.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. Number 3 is a motion authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Kleininger Group for professional services related to the City of Trenton's 2026 local paving program at a total cost of $35,000 and to execute all documents necessary to implement the agreement. Do we have any questions?
No.
All right, I will entertain a motion to authorize.
So moved.
Second.
We have Vice Mayor Croucher and Councilwoman Butts. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. All right, legislation. I will entertain a motion that we read items 1 and 2 under legislation by title only.
Item number 1 is a resolution creating a citizens committee for planning and zoning ordinances.
Thank you. And number 2, please.
Item number 2 is a resolution restricting rate increases on water and sewer customers of the city of Trenton using less than 8,000 gallons per month until January 1st, 2023.
All right, thank you very much. And is there any way, because this is something we've been going back and forth with for a while, is there any way we can start taking applications for number 1 before we actually pass it?
I can look into that and get you.
Or, I mean,
We wouldn't actually be appointing, we'd just be taking applications.
yeah.
I would say if we're not actually appointing somebody and we're just accepting applications, but I'll confirm and get back to council.
So what this is for the longest time, our zoning code has been, we need it rewritten. I think everyone knows that in the city. So what we're doing is we're taking applications for citizens to rewrite the zoning code and look at each individual item themselves. What they will do is they will take it to council through Mr. Profit, which will head the committee, and then we will send them to Planning Commission. So at this time, I think Stas, send them to you.
Yep.
Okay. If you have any applications and would like to be on that committee, please send them to Stas. I would like to remind you, this is for residential only. This is not commercial zoning. So, all right.
On number 2, is that date correct?
That's what
It says 2023.
That's 2032. My apologies.
2032.
32.
Yes.
That should be 2032.
Somebody had fat fingers.
Do we need to reread that? Okay. Please reread number 2.
Item number 2 is a resolution restricting rate increases on water and sewer customers of the city of Trenton using less than 8,000 gallons per month until January 1st, 2032.
Thank you very much, and we'll go on to reports, and we'll stick with you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No reports.
Thank you, Mr. Masisklis.
Mayor, no reports.
Thank you, Mr. Beresford.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of reports. I think you got an email from me about the veteran banners. I followed up with Duke with their approval process. So Duke is following up internally with their team. So I'll continue to provide updates to council if I get anything from Duke. And then I will also get with Mr. Masisklis about getting information about the CRA, and we'll get that posted. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you very much. And just to provide some information, is Trenton doesn't own their own electric poles. Before we post anything on an electric pole, we have to get permission from Duke Energy. So that's why there is a little delay on us getting the next round of the banners up. But hopefully we'll be able to present that here soon, and we'll fill the city with banners. Ms. Hart?
Thank you. I will be brief, but I do want to thank all of our staff and volunteers for our support, as was mentioned on the July 2nd. Also would like to thank the folks at Barn and Bunk. Yesterday we had a short and sweet break. Had 98 scoops of ice cream provided to residents, and children, business members. So I want to thank everyone. If you did miss it, August 5th, we'll be at Witt's Custard, so please come out for that. And as you all did have the item that dealt with the Trenton Sports Bar, the Trenton Business and Community Association will be having its July 20th sample Indian and Nepalese food. Please join us there on the 28th at noon. Everyone is. And I will say, if you don't make that one on the 25th of August, we do that every month just to support a different business in the community. And with that, thank you for allowing me to see your life, people.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to audience of council. Mr. Prophet.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no reports.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rourke.
No report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Butts.
No reports.
Thank you. Councilwoman Montgomery.
I just want to say it's been very, very hot. And I'm telling you, the heat doesn't agree with me. And for those of you that came out on July the 2nd to everything, and whether you were in the parade, it just goes to show that we have a community that gets together and does some fun things. And I love that. I couldn't be there because when it's hot like that, I have a problem breathing. So anyway, it is nice when our community does things together. And, I just want to say that, again, it's an honor for me to be here tonight. And it's an honor for me to be a part of this city. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you very much. Councilman Nichols.
I'd just like to thank everybody involved with the celebration on the 2nd. it takes a lot of volunteers to put something like that together. Kelsey does a great job of organizing it all, but it still takes a lot more people than that to actually pull it off. Police department, fire department, public works, plus the parks board, and just a lot of people that, from the general public that volunteer for some of our events. And just want to thank all of them. I think that was probably the biggest crowd we've had for any of our events. I didn't know if we would ever beat the bicentennial, but I think we did.
No.
I think we had a bigger crowd, which was great. And also remind people that this coming Saturday, we have a movie in the park. Come out for that. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Croucher.
I would also like to thank everybody that participated in the parade, that lined everything up. Mrs. Moore did a fantastic job with the America 250 celebration on July 2nd. Kudos to you, Miss Hubbard, for walking around all day long. It was very hot on that asphalt. Wow, was that brutal. And thanks to all the residents for showing up and being there in that heat. It was extremely bad. Mrs. Montgomery, thank you for the prayer tonight. Mrs. Butts, do you happen to know the name of the movie that's being showed Saturday? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
You did, and I don't have it off the top of my head.
Neither do I. That's why I
It's a
movies in the park this Saturday at dusk. Be there.
Stas has it.
yeah. It's going to be a Minecraft movie. So
Oh, Minecraft.
yeah.
Okay, Minecraft. Popcorn, movies, and snow cones. It will be at the community park. Be there at dusk. Come a little early. There's always activities there, and Miss Moore always puts something on. But thank everybody for coming, and happy belated 4th of July.
And I'm so glad the splash pad got taken care of and was usable on July the 2nd.
Our mayor used a splash pad on July 2nd.
After walking the parade, it was a bit hot, so I had to walk through it.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
I had a person give me a phone call with a great suggestion that we had, and it was that they saw the big flag on Shape Corp, and I'm sure everybody's seen it at this point, and she said, why don't all of our businesses have big flags to celebrate outside of them? So I think that'll be a good idea. Is there any way that we can reach out to our businesses and see, let's just decorate the whole town with the biggest flags we possibly can for the 250, because the Shape Corp one looks great. I'll get you in a second. And also on top of that, since it's 250 while we're building the water tower, we still don't, to my recollection, have a design for the top of it. So I think America 250 would be good on that. Excuse me, I said I. That was the same resident that came up with that idea as well. So, yeah, we should go ahead and put the just a design for America 250, since that's the year we built it. I would like to say that volunteers are always welcome with the City of Trenton. We have a movie in the park. We provide free snow cones. We provide popcorn, free of charge to everybody that wants to come. And that is all dependent on having volunteers to serve them. I will say that if you're worried about getting sticky from the snow cones, like we constantly did last year, we have improved how we do snow cones, and we let everybody put their own syrup on. Now, that's costing us a little bit more in syrup, but it's probably saving us a whole lot on the concrete that got stained with all of the snow cone stuff and the shirts that get thrown away after it because they're covered with it. So please, if you have the time on Saturday, come out, volunteer. If volunteers are full, then enjoy a snow cone and some popcorn and enjoy the movie. I also wanted to, and you might help me with this, Nicole, the work on 73 that we got a email about. Can you please update us, because this is going to be part of the traffic flow. We got some money from the state to go ahead and do some of 73, so please.
Right. You all might remember Brad sharing that we were successful in getting support for State Route 73. So this week you will see people that have been out doing utility marking, including our public works staff. And we've been told by ODOT that their project will start next week. So you should see people out on Monday. They'll have flaggers out. They are going to be doing work on the handicap ramps, but also the most important thing, paving. So from about First Street through the city limits to the bridge, you'll have a new paving down. And at some point within the next year or so, we'll have a second, 2 years, we'll have a second project that will be paid for by regional funds through the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana COG. That'll help us with some additional work in terms of a turn lane and sidewalks. But most importantly, next week, you'll start to see the ODOT project start. So they've said they're hoping for minimal disruption, but there will be flaggers out to help people navigate that. And there are some other projects. We know that we've got construction going on all across the city, but you'll see some things taking place near Trenton Square, temporary lighting in that area, as well as some bids that'll be going out for some additional projects. The paving that council just approved this evening, as well as some other work that'll take place. So thank you for saving me, Mayor. Get me in trouble with my boss. Forgetting that. I get excited for food and libations. Sorry. But I know that Stas has, we already mentioned, we'll be posting that online because we literally just got that today. So you guys are some of the first that will get that information.
Isn't Trenton Road part of that project through OKI also?
Well, this year, the Hamilton Trenton Road is, we're doing that cooperative effort with Madison Township. Then in the next 2 years will be the roadway on State Route 73.
The widen.
You might, right, because we had to take advantage of the state doing this project now. We know that there's other work that needs to be done that can help better connect the downtown and the rest of the community with the Riverway, but we didn't want to hold up that funding because I think it was going to be at least multiple years before we could actually get ODOT to nod.
Okay, thank you.
I'm looking at Brad just to make sure. North First Street, Union Street, the water line replacement. They'll have that bid opening in August. And I mentioned the local paving project and East State Street.
Mr. Baker, anything else?
The local paving will go out in the paper this Monday. So 2 consecutive weeks. Bid opening on that will be July 28th. Start meeting again. The water line replacement project on North First Street, which includes North First Street, North Second Street, Union Street, Rosa, Orange Shelby Court, all the way down to East Aberdeen. Water line replacement curve, reconstruction, repaved. And then top of that, OPWC project, already in the work for the 2027 project. North First Street to Princeton Drive, another reconstruction project, all new water. So all this is all going to, two big projects are going to hit right back to back, and then the water line project will fall. And then the OKI project.
Thank you. Mr. Blankenship, you had something brief. I don't see why not.
Well, the Veterans Memorial is going to end up being there, so I'm sure there'll be flags. There will be actually 3 flags associated with it.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue.
Or
you
I brought it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, you perfectly segued me in, and actually, Barry speaking there was perfect. I don't know if you remember this, but when this first started, you made a suggestion that if AWS was going to build out there, that we should get them to pay for the Veterans Memorial. I can tell you right now with negotiations with them that if they end up building on that annexed property, they have pledged to pay for 100% of the $750,000 Veterans Memorial for Trenton. So they will pay every dime for that Veterans Memorial, and I can tell you this, we're not done negotiating. There's going to be bigger items that we bring to you that they are willing to pay for to help out the city of Trenton. So I just wanted to go ahead and announce that. We did raise some money for the Veterans Memorial, and then we got word that they pledged to pay the $750,000 for it. So that is... that's a very nice thing for them to do for the city. And like I said, we'll continue to talk to them, and I'm sure there's going to be much more. But with that being said, I would like to entertain a motion that we adjourn tonight's proceedings.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Rourke and Vice Mayor Croucher, roll call, please.
Mr. Rourke?
Yay.
Vice Mayor Croucher?
Yay.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yay.
Mr. Profit?
Yay.
Mr. Nichols?
Yay.
Ms. Butts?
Yay.
Mayor Perry?
Yay. We are adjourned at 8:36 p.m. Thank you.